What is going on, everybody? Misfit Mining Saturday Night Live here with my boy Hawk Crypto. We got Joe Network Bits here as our special guest. We got Mr. Max Voltage and the Geek of All Trades over there. I'm Chump Change. Good to see you guys. Hopefully you're all having a good holiday weekend and enjoying yourselves. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people away, but this should be a great stream. So first, we'll start off with saying hi to everybody, and then we'll just kind of go through what we've been doing this week or what we're up to, and then yeah, we'll get into Joe's rant session. So D-Miners, what's up, buddy? Road Puts, good to see you. Geek of All Trades in my chat, spamming away. Look at you. And Hawk, you guys are both on top of stuff. Good stuff. Caw Valley Crypto, good to see you. Hobbyist Miner, Crypto Tito, good to see you as well. Crypto Perks, who else? Power Minds Crypto, what's up, buddy? Golden Wolf, let's see. Cook, I think Miss Pocket Change is here. Maybe she's not. D-Miners, I might have already said that. Anyways, appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. All right, let's start with Mr. Max Voltage. How was your day today? Or he's not paying attention.
Pretty relaxing.
Oh,
I did not go to work today. Can you hear me?
Yes.
That's a delay.
Can you hear me?
Delayed?
Yeah, you got delayed.
Sorry. There was I had a little bit of an issue on my side, so I wasn't sure.
Too many notes.
But
got it.
It was a little frustrating, but yeah, my team lead said, "Yeah, I got things," and then my counterpart showed up, and guess what? He didn't. So anyway, a little bit of frustrating from work from home. But at least I didn't have to go into work, so that's a definite positive. But other than that, pretty relaxing day, getting some crypto things in order, and other than that, good day. Nice.
What about you, Geek of All Trades? What have you been up to today besides pressure washing solar panels and messing up 3D prints?
Oh, that was yesterday. Yesterday was pressure washing the panels. I need to find something different for that, man.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
It was tough. Now, if it was like on the roof of the house, that's a little different. I can like get up and walk around, but
right.
The shed's at that like weird angle where two are like this and two are, man, it was a pain. So I was out riding earlier today before traffic got real bad, up here in the mountains. It was like every holiday, everybody wants to come up this way. So all the roads are stuffed with people from Atlanta, and they drive like people from Atlanta. So I try to avoid the roads on holidays when I'm on the motorcycle, but we all have Hive mappers here, right? Like everybody's got one.
Yes.
Are you guys trying that new operating system too? The new firmware?
I haven't even had a chance to do it, but I will.
Yeah.
It works really good, but man, I sat in my car and then in my truck for like probably 2 hours today, actually downloading the footage from the cameras because they're, phone free throughout the rest of the week and whatnot. But I had like 120 something thousand images to download, and luckily it'll go in the background. So I'm just sitting there on, doing the desk scroll on TikTok and shorts and whatnot for like 2 hours. So that was the majority of my day.
So how does it work though? Like, is it like an SD card? Like you flash firmware on the side? Like what is it?
Nope. It'll, with that beta app that I was telling you about, it'll auto update the device, the dash cam.
Oh, so it's like
the new firmware. Yeah. And then
it has internal
stores
it on the device.
Yep. And all of it stays on the device until you connect to it. So
and then one of the lights will actually turn yellow, I think.
Yellow
when it's out of space.
Mm-hmm.
So question, why wouldn't they isn't there an SD card thing in the side or no?
You don't have to, but you don't, that's not the idea behind it though. The idea is you take the pictures and upload. Now what I do is I select the use data, your phone data option. And the minute I take the picture while I'm Hive mapping, it's uploading and taking pictures simultaneously.
But
that's the real way to do it if you have unlimited data. What?
But you're leaving your phone on the whole time, right? Like you
I plug it in. I plug it in. Yeah, I mean it's. I mean it didn't bother me. I don't.
Yeah. Well, the new OS, it just works. Like you just the dash cam doesn't need your phone; it just reads it. But then getting the images back onto your phone to go back up to their cloud.
Kind of a pain.
Is very time.
I would say like it needs like a USB stick to like put the pictures on.
Well, it has a USB stick, but there's no way to get it up to their cloud from there.
Right. That's only if you want if you want the pictures for yourself.
Which I never got to work.
Oh, you never got to work. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing though is that if you go into, first of all, with the new one, you can disable battery optimizations so that it will continue to run in the background. So what I do right at the start of a drive is I connect it. and make sure that it's communicating with it, and then I go do whatever else I want to do with the phone. Now once it's connected, it'll stay running in the background,
Right.
and then it will download it to the phone. Then when I get home, I just make sure I open it and make sure it then sends the pictures. So that way I'm not waiting for the end of the week. I basically do it while I'm in the car. It gets the pictures, and then when I get home each night, I download them or upload them.
Yeah, this new firmware upgrade should make it seamless where you don't even have to think about it at this point. It does everything in the background rather than having the app in the foreground. So they're coming a long way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's a cool concept overall, right? I honestly thought it was like an SD card went in the thing and then you took it out and you brought it in the house and plugged it in. But Hobbyist made a good point. He was like, it's pretty sick. We just need to find a way to bring it inside and plug it in. And that's that'd be kind of neat actually. It's a good video for you, Geek of All Trades. Should do that. Set up a little thing.
It'd be nice if they had like a portal or something that you could come and connect it via USB. I don't know if it's going to power over USB. You probably got to have a separate 12-volt power supply to power it up sitting on your desk or whatever.
Right, there we go. Hive Mapper docking station. They're gonna be selling that in about a month.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mr. Hot Crypto, what you been up to today? How was your day?
Oh man, I was working from home today and that's it. Just been home. We got some stuff done around the house. I had to I got another R8 in the garage and I'm just moving GPUs around. Gonna load up all my 3070s. I sold my 580s. They're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got a 3090. This rig back here, I'm gonna turn into a proof of use for work rig.
Okay.
I'm gonna put the 3090 in there, maybe upgrade the motherboard and CPU, and just leave it as a showpiece when the OUW is up. And
that's awesome.
Just making some changes and stuff. I gave the dog a bath, gave the baby a bath. Let's see.
Together or separate?
Separate.
You just got them both in there. What are you doing?
You had to think about that one.
Yeah.
Brutal.
So just normal house things. I was in the office for like 4 or 5 hours today working on some stuff, meetings and emails and all kinds of stuff.
Nice, man.
That's it.
All right, best for last, Mr. Joe. What is going on with you, buddy? How was your day today?
It's good, relaxing.
Nice, no work.
A whole lot, nothing other than took a nap.
There you go.
And long weekend. So
man, what's that? I want to take a nap.
No.
I want a nap too,
man,
bro.
it's so hard to take a nap with kids, man. Unless you sleep when they sleep. Yeah, but if I do that, I'm getting them up way too late because I'll just continue to sleep.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. Like everybody's like, my mom was trying to tell me you need to sleep when the baby sleeps. I'm like, he sleeps like 2 hours at a time.
Yep.
I said, it doesn't make sense for me just to sleep when he sleeps. It makes sense for me to go shifts. So we take shifts. So I'll stay up, majority of the night till about 7 a.m. Right? She'll sleep a full 6, 7, 8 hours. Right? And I'll handle it. And then I'll go to sleep. And then when I go to sleep, she'll pick up the next shift. And we'll rotate. Right. That makes sense. So everybody can get sleep. But last night he was uber fussy and she needed help. And we're trying to calm him down. I couldn't figure out why he was fussy. But I'm just saying, sorry, Joe, and take your spot. But that's the way to do it.
Got hawked out of the conversation.
Got hawked out, bro.
Yeah. I trying to get cut off.
Happens to the best of us.
Right. I mean, you guys probably feel the same way, but being in the crypto space, when you have a day job, you're also working. When you're working on your YouTube channel or researching a project or working on your rig. So it's it feels much of the same for me when I do a lot of this work because it's networking or research, reading.
I think it's called addiction. It's an addiction because we can't get off our phones, computers. Like even when we have a day off, we're like getting on the computer because we want to do it, even though
actually yesterday was really interesting. So for me anyway. So yesterday I noticed at around noon that one of my rigs has been down for 12 hours. Like crap, what the hell? And it was my 4070 Ti and 4070 rig. So there's many cards on it. That's the one that has a server power supply with the ZSX board on it. So I'm like, it's acting like it's just not powered up. So I actually had to get home because I had somebody coming out, check out the garage door. Basically, it was the springs needed to be adjusted. That was it. But anyway, I got home. That guy wasn't here yet. Went downstairs. Sure enough, it's not on. So I'm like trying to power it off and on, whatever. So I'm like, all right, it's probably the ZSX board, but let me try a different server power supply first. I'm like, okay, cool. So I put that in, trying to turn it on, won't go on. I'm like, all right. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the ATX power supply, move that up here, and just get a standard. Anyway, I figured out a solution. I literally turn around and I hear, wee! The thing turns on. And it's been on ever since.
Weird.
What the hell? Yeah, it was very weird. So I know what I'm going to do if it fails again, but I have no idea. I put the other power supply on it, but it didn't start up when I tried turning it on. So I don't even know if the other power supply is bad or not. If it is the breakup board, I don't know. But yeah, we have those kind of fun things as miners. Sometimes things don't work and sometimes they do. And you're like, why did it work now and it didn't work before?
Yeah, it's a little gremlin, right? The one
yeah, exactly.
Chasing. Pain in the ass. All right.
Using a red deck board for the motherboard?
No.
Oh, those
just a standard
motherboard.
Yeah. It's a Gigabyte D whatever. I don't know. It's standard. A lot of people use this motherboard. I actually got this motherboard from Panda, actually.
Oh, that's why.
That's why.
Explains a lot.
He's always the thorn in your side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding. Love you, Panda. All right, Mr. Joe, let's talk about this Crankk stuff. All right, so I know I've converted my previous HNT MNTD hotspots, right, with you onto this, and it seems pretty profitable. It's nice. I like it for the most part. I mean, it hasn't shut down on me, so. And it's, I think it's already made more than Helium's made me the entire time I had the Helium miners. No joke. It's probably like over a year and a half. I think the Crankk has made more in the last like 2 weeks than Helium ever did. So it's quite interesting. So I guess give us a rundown. What is Crankk and, the whole 9 yards?
Certainly. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on to discuss this project. Now, I'll answer the first question that many people probably have. Why would anyone want to participate in this after the Helium disaster that unfolded over this past year and a half? And I think you've already started to answer that. It's been more profitable for you. And we can go through a litany of reasons why, and I'll give you the difference between this network and Crankk and Helium. So just to back up real quick, I've been a network engineer for 10 years. And Helium was really my first true venture in crypto mining, if you want to call it that. I think the idea makes sense. I wholeheartedly believe in it. I believe that Helium, they grew too fast for their own good. They have this arrogance to them. There's a lot of learning mistakes there, which you can never fault them for, but you can fault them for not learning from them and not being diligent in the project, getting out ahead of the ball where they knew they should have. So with the way things Helium unfolded, it was actually a big disappointment for me. And you guys have probably seen some of the arguments that I was in directly with them, and actually to the point of having found the Helium Foundation come on my channel for a town hall for this debate where they pretty much messed up a whole continent and essentially hurt developers on the network, businesses, people who consult in this space. Now, as a network engineer, I'm not talking to just the crypto people on YouTube who are saying support this project. It's alive, it's dead, it's profitable, it's not profitable. I'm talking to people who want to build on this network. They want to build actual devices that LoRaWAN, this is not a new protocol. This has been around over 10 years now. And it is considered one of the Internet of Things devices protocols. So long-winded answer, but if you believe in what we're doing here, you guys might call them decentralized public infrastructure networks. It's essentially similar to what you guys are doing with Flux, trying to build a global decentralized network for people to utilize. Just a little bit different with radio frequencies. And it's
a good way to put it.
Yeah. And there's other aspects that, there's a whole, you might have heard of like this 5G network, and I say that term very loosely, right? With Helium, CBRS, Citizens Broadband Radio System. There's other networks from other companies that are in the running to build this. There's a lot of infrastructure coming about in this space that I think is a great plan, and I think it will be feasible if it's done right, if the engineering work and the development and planning is there. I was a big supporter of Helium. I'm their biggest critic now, and we may refer to them as a network that shall not be named, but maybe later on in the show we'll talk about some of the things that went wrong.
Yeah.
I don't care to, but if you guys want to smash the pinata a few times, I'm all for it.
Shit away.
Said the
I like to talk about Crankk, and we will mention another one. There actually is another network in the makings right now. Their main net launches mid-June. Things Internet Exchange, essentially another couple talented developers that were working within Helium, and the Helium Foundation told them to piss off, and they said, okay, we're going to go start our own network. Bye. So a lot of good things happening in this space. Like I said, I believe in this mission, and just to say, well, Helium failed and nobody uses the network, so why even try again? Well, they failed at, to their own detriments, not because the idea overall sucks. Now, it's just some of the differences between Helium and Crankk. First and foremost, no venture capital is in the Crankk network. So these are people that are dedicating their own time and resources. A lot of the device sales that were made early on is what's funding. I guess essentially a salary for many of the developers. Also, they do use professional contractors and consultants for some of the things that they're not able to do. But there is one main lead developer and CEO, Peter, and he's very well versed on the Kadena blockchain, which is a proof of work blockchain. Many of you I know in the audience are familiar with, and they have their smart contracts on layer 1. So you don't necessarily need your own blockchain for any crypto project. You can use one that's come of age now, and they've chose Kadena. I think there's a litany of them out there that you can use, but I believe it is excellent choice, being that it's proof of work. Now, some of the other distinguishing features, you don't need an approved hotspot. So with Helium, one of the biggest disasters were the manufacturers that were not able to meet these promises that they made in manufacturing the hardware. Well, that's not an issue on the Crankk network. You have numerous choices. You can repurpose your Helium hardware, most of it up to this point. There's certain ones that are very hard to convert because of how the manufacturers created them, but they don't have to be approved. You can use a generic one, like for example, Dragino LPS8. That's $120, $150 LoRaWAN gateway. You can put it on the network and start earning when you have a license and staking, which we'll get into shortly. But you can use something like a Cisco gateway, or we were utilizing the MatchX, that the other scam network, and they blatantly made a change to their firmware to lock people out from moving networks. So that's something that Crankk is actually battling right now. Anyways, another big difference between this network and Helium is that the proof of coverage, I know a lot of people within the GPU ASIC community, when they first got into Helium, said, my earnings suck. I don't understand how some people are making so much where I'm not making a whole lot. And what that came down to is it's called proof of coverage. So you need a way to check how good the coverage that you're providing is, and that's radio frequency based. So it's basically the reach of devices that are nearby, if they're able to utilize the network through your device. And Helium's model encouraged clustering. They know that that's not really beneficial to the network. There's an amount of redundancy that you want, but the way Helium has it set up, it's like if you're in probably the mid suburbs is where your earnings are going to be best. But if you're in the countryside where LoRaWAN coverage is probably needed most, you're not going to earn anything. So you're not going to place your devices out there. And they failed to adapt that sort of model to what would be most beneficial for the network. So that's something different with Crankk, where if you have a Crankk gateway, there's two ways you can earn through it. They call it proof of network participation, but still same proof of coverage. We'll get to the consensus part later, loosely using the word consensus. But so the two ways to earn just with your basic hotspot. So Raspberry Pi with the LoRaWAN concentrator and hat, or you could reuse one of the Nebra Rock Pi.
Real quick, I just want to welcome the Mining King. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. Oh, sorry, he's muted.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, I'm good.
Perfect.
Thanks, man.
All right, yeah, I just brought you in. I didn't want to like unannounce you. Sorry, bud. We did have a question in the chat though, real quick, before you continue, Mr. Network Bits. So the converting the wallets, right? I mean, not the wallets, the HNT hotspots, right? Previous ones. Somebody asked about the Bobcat. Is that the one that was tough to do or something? I know there was a couple.
That is the one that's tough to do. So if you go, if you want to share my screen real quick, I'll show you where to go here. But under guides, downloads and guides, onboarding full hotspots, onboarding light hotspots. So it shows you which ones are currently available to convert. They're working on a plan for Bobcat, but it comes with so many hassles. They're having a hard time breaking into the board. And one of the things that they're trying to provide to the community is the ability to onboard multiple networks and do the dual mining, dual earning, whatever you like to call it. So with a lot of these, you have the option to earn both Crankk and Helium at the same time. Where that's like a big no-no with the Helium crowd. They're very upset over that. But
really,
oh yeah, they had a whole meeting over it, and they basically told their manufacturers, if you're going to provide the option to utilize multiple networks, then you have to decrement the Helium earnings proportional to the coverage that is suffering, which is like extremely marginal as far as there are
that's
some
so weird. Can't make this shit up. I know. I know. Oh man,
it's mine. You can't use my stuff.
All right, bye. You're not earning anything anyway.
I seriously, like I'm dead serious. I think I honestly don't know the amount, but it's so insignificant that it doesn't even matter. But I had mine plugged in with I think it was a 4 dB antenna or something. Like it's not like massive long, but the thing was like, it had to be like a couple feet. And like, this thing ain't making shit. And I'm right outside of Boston. Like, come on. Why is this making nothing? I don't understand. And Max is over there freaking, cash cow with two of his. And I had no idea how he was doing it.
Again, you live in a hole.
No, but I moved it out of the hole into a different place. Oh, you suck.
So
thanks for reminding me.
You won't have that problem with Crankk. You're going to earn, regardless if there are other devices around you or not. How much you earn is going to vary depending on the devices around you. That's something we'll explain in depth when we pull up the PDF document. So just to kind of, summarize what I'm saying here. So that's another point. The proof of coverage you're going to earn, it's going to be, I don't want to guarantee it's going to be profitable. As always, never financial advice. Consult with a trusted professional and do your own research. Yes, Max.
There was a question in the chat. I think you basically said it, but you don't have to buy anything that Crankk specifically says. You can buy your own hardware. You can buy a generic Raspberry Pi and LoRaWAN hat that doesn't have any association to any network and put the Crankk program on it.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I think that's huge.
Yep.
It's something that has to be there. And it has, I understand the reasoning for some of the things that Helium did. There has to be some sort of way to get the everyday person to be able to just buy something off the shelf, plug it in, make the hotspot app work, and then it's simple.
Does the
But,
Raspberry Pi version matter? Somebody asked 4, Raspberry Pi 4. Does it make a difference?
It's going to depend. It's going to
Okay.
depend on how much you want to customize what you're going to do.
Okay.
Now, what I tell people is that if you want to do it yourself, unless you're very experienced with Linux and Raspberry Pis, you're going to want to model your do-it-yourself board after an existing model. I would suggest the SenseCap one because that has been the easiest one for me up to this point. So you're going to want to buy the same Pi hat and the same concentrator as that model, but feel free to do it however you want. I'm just saying there's might be more research and customization you have to do if you're going to mix and match the hardware that you're using.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
I mean, really, if you want something simple and cheap, you can go buy a Dragino LPS8 for, I think it's 120, maybe $150 brand new on the Crankk, sorry, not Crankk, on the Seed Studio website. If you want something even cheaper, take a look at the compatible hardware and buy it off eBay. I have a video on it, but you can buy something used or even new from Helium, that something that someone wants to get rid of off eBay and convert that. So yeah, it's
That's
pretty
awesome.
simple. Yeah.
Awesome. HNT penalized you for antenna height and power. That was pure BS, said John Germain. That's weird, huh?
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
Yeah,
there.
I didn't know that.
Well, remember you couldn't have too high of a dB antenna. Couldn't have too high of a gain.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
It depends on local regulations.
Well, no, they were talking about doing this. I don't know if they ever actually did it, but they were like, no, you can't have this. And if we figure out that you have too high of a gain of an antenna, we're going to do something to you, consider you a cheater or whatever.
Oh,
because
yeah.
you'd be
I know what you're talking about.
noticing more. That's some horse shit. That's so stupid.
Yeah.
I don't want Joe to lose it. Joe's gonna start punching holes in the wall.
I feel my blood pressure rising. Helium gave me cancer and AIDS
at the same time.
Okay, anyway.
True, it wouldn't be funny, but
yes, touche. I'm gonna put just so you guys know, putting Joe's initial Crankk video before he was anyway involved with owning a Crankk hotspot or anything along those lines. So please feel free to go check that out after the fact if you guys are seriously interested in all of this. He kind of breaks everything down much more simply than he is right here, and he shows things on screen. So that's in the live chat. But yeah, all right, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to grab some questions from the chat. If you guys have any questions about Crankk, please throw it out there.
And if you don't get around to your questions the first time around, feel free to leave them again.
Yeah, just post them
again. I know we're going through a lot of subject matter real fast here, but another distinguishing factor between Helium and Crankk is the overall architecture being used immediately. So when Helium first started, they didn't really have any blockchains to utilize other than Ethereum was available, but the gas fees are so high, and there was a lot of bottleneck. I don't have the word for it, but you really couldn't put a lot of transactions through years ago at once. So it just didn't make sense to use. And Helium came up with their own blockchain, which I've talked about this before. If you don't need your own blockchain, if you have one to use, you don't really need your own unless that's specifically what your project is intended to do, is be a layer one, because it takes so much research and development, so much time, so much upkeep for just that specific aspect of the network. And there's a lot of points you can debate on this one, but where Helium had to use their own because they had no other options, they decided to decommission it and move on to Solana. They also had this thing where they wanted to do their own protocol called LongFi, which was never a full implementation of LoRaWAN, which never made sense to me. But they thought that they're going to do all this fancy crap with it and never got the full implementation of LoRaWAN. Figure it out. It didn't support Class C devices. So eventually, Helium also decided to move to ChirpStack as what's called their LoRaWAN network server. It's an open source LoRaWAN network server, LNS, that you can utilize. And because you all right there, Hawk?
Oh, the Heat. I'm just I got the
Miami
Heat game right
He's
here.
watching the fucking basketball game as we're talking. All right, listen, Max is balls
Hold on,
deep in chat. I can see it in his eyes. Hawk's over here watching basketball. I don't know what Mining King's doing. He's playing GTA in the background. I have no idea what that. I love the background. I'm just kidding. Those triangles made me cross-eyed, by the way.
So, anyways,
triangles
from
you mean the hexagons?
No, the ones that were flying at you during your
Terrahash
Tuesday, bro. It was like making me go cross-eyed. I'm not even kidding. So I love the new background. It looks perfect. Thank you.
Anyways,
go ahead. Sorry.
The architecture, straight out of the box, Crankk decides to use Kadena for their blockchain and use ChirpStack for their LoRaWAN network server. And so they're already on the right path. The lessons learned from Helium, Crankk has learned, but Helium themselves have not. And totally different governance structure than what Helium has to offer, where Helium is based on the amount of HNT that you have in your wallet. Plus, they have this whole VHNT system based on how much you stake, where with Crankk, it's going to be based on how many devices that you have on the network. So basically one hotspot, one vote type of deal. There is staking involved with each device, which we're going to talk about right after this. But anyways, Crankk is looking to be an all-in-one IoT solution. So basically what that means is you have numerous protocols that you can run a Internet of Things device on, right? A small device, whatever it may be. This one's primarily LoRaWAN. That's what the global network is there for. If people want to use whatever it may be. This is a tracker. It's actually much bigger than some of the other trackers that are out there, but you can put whatever you want. This one is air quality sensor, and you can even build your own Raspberry Pi Edge AI type of device and send the data that you've parsed over the LoRaWAN network, whatever it may be. But LoRaWAN is not the only thing that's in the Internet of Things. You have like Bluetooth, low energy. You can put IoT devices on Wi-Fi, which are two of the protocols that are going to be supported. And this isn't going to be, it's not intended for you to allow your neighborhood to utilize Bluetooth low energy and Wi-Fi devices on it, because those protocols obviously don't travel. Those wireless protocols, I should say, obviously don't travel that far. What it's going to be for, those options are there. So if IoT professionals need an all-in-one solution, they can create their own hotspot, put Bluetooth and wireless dongle on their board, and provide those solutions to whoever they're consulting for. Anyways, so something I said that I was going to cover. Onboarding a device.
Sorry, I'm trying to change my TV because it's confusing people. Go ahead.
No problem. So currently, the beta phase is closed. They sold 2,000 licenses, and it's closed until Q3 of 2023. So sometime in July, we're expecting that to open back up. But as it stands, there are it's $150 worth of Kadena to buy a license, and then you would stake $100 worth of Crankk. So it's not 150 tokens, not 100 tokens. It's dollars worth of the Kadena coin and $100 worth of the Crankk token. The Crankk token is CRKK, otherwise referred to as crack.
Crack.
But I feel like this fucking team is on right now.
Come on, Hawk.
You guys just saw the play that just happened. Yeah.
Oh my God! Did you see that shit? I'm sorry, Joe.
You guys are killing me because the Crankk team's going to be watching this. They're going to be very upset. You guys aren't paying attention.
Guys, nobody near them for a rebound, and they both knock it out of bounds. They both go out of bounds, trying to knock it off each other to try to get it out, and they screwed it up.
In my defense, I am on eBay actually looking at hotspots so I can convert one to a crank.
Wait.
In my
So,
defense,
well,
on
my
this screen.
question was going to be for Joe. Can Hawk put his gold MNTD that he decided to destroy for a node that is no longer a node
Yes.
and turn into Crankk?
As long as he still has the pie hat and the
No,
I believe
the
it was a rat
wireless hat, I don't have it because Pop told me I didn't need it, so naturally I threw it across the street.
Well, you didn't need it for the node. Yes,
No, I
that's
didn't. I
fine.
didn't need it for the no. No, I didn't. No, I don't have it. It's
But
probably
now
just gonna
you
be cheaper
can
as well.
buy it secondhand though. You don't. You can buy it by itself.
I'll send you one, Hawk.
I'm sure
I'm
people
gonna
are giving
plug
them
in-
away.
I put 2 weeks into that Cumulus node. I'm keeping it. I ain't doing nothing with it.
It's going on the wall.
Helium miners are dirt cheap on eBay right
Yeah.
now, though.
I
gave mine away in
Yeah.
a giveaway. I think Mass Boost has it.
It just says, yeah, you just go on Craigslist.
Hey, Sunflower
Helium
Mountain
miner,
will
just
look
a
at
There
free-
is
right
a
now.
question.
So
There is a
hang on, Sunflower
question
Mountain
here from-
website right now can't tag Network Bits and can't tag Geek of All Trades. So guys gotta just like do a test chat or something so that you can be tagged.
Oh yeah, network business
All right.
here.
She said amateur.
Brad has a question. Brad has a question. He says, "Who
Yeah.
gets the Kadena?" So that goes to the Crankk team, and that's what they use to fund basically their operation overhead, paying for consultants that they utilize, some of the cloud space.
So I know it sounds like an investment, right? That you'd have to purchase a license, whatever it is at the end
Well,
of
you
the
can
day.
always
But
sell your license secondhand afterwards. There,
Okay.
there will be an option later on down the road to sell a license. Also, the staking. I want to be sure I'm getting this correct, but I believe after you've staked, it's locked up. After a full year, you can unstake and receive it.
that's
in
what I
total.
remember us talking about. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like you could take out the 100 crank, or you can unstake it after whatever a year, the 100 crank that you put into it. And then also like these. So, can you talk about the profitability at all? Like, can you explain to people that whole thing? Because the license and the amount of actual coin, like USD value you get from these things, it's substantial, compared to what you're used to. And that's just, it's worth it in that sense. So I don't know if you want to just elaborate a little bit on.
Go ahead. You
both.
can share my screen there.
Yeah. Let's
So
pull
I
it up.
will leave this link in the jump. If you can paste that Google Docs link that I left in the private chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in there right now. Can you zoom in a little bit? Is that possible?
I'm not sure it's possible. I don't
Let me see.
I don't know how to use this thing.
That kind
All
of blocks
right,
it.
that worked.
Is that okay? Or is that
Well,
cutting off a
Yeah,
lot of it?
that's okay.
Okay.
So there's really two concepts that you have to understand here. So there's the beacon and there's a witness. When you send out a beacon, it's basically like the equivalent of a hello message in networking, or just saying I'm still online.
It's a pain.
Witness is the devices that are seeing that beacon. So this is radio frequencies, right? Just the basic. They have to see each other. So actually, LoRaWAN can penetrate most objects, and if you have line of sight, it can go for hundreds of miles, especially over water. So RF concepts apply here. Like I said, don't think of it one for one the way you did with helium, because it doesn't scale exponentially like helium does. It scales linearly to a point. So I created this Google Docs spreadsheet to help you understand. Now, if you're going to want to play with it yourself, I believe you import it into your own Google Drive so you can play with the numbers here. And there's two factors on the gateway estimates tab that you can change. Then there's two factors on the consensus estimates page that you can change. We'll talk about consensus a little bit later on. So the Crankk price, it's currently sitting around about 25 cents. So there's a decentralized exchange as of current.
If you want me to remove the screen,
No, it's fine.
you sure? All right.
So Okay, so we're sitting at 23 cents, but you can trade like you can buy a Cadena with fiat and you can trade for the Crankk token on their decentralized exchange. It's 1-for-1. So if you're going to buy it, typically I click like one of the sell orders that has enough to supply the buy that I'm going to make, and you can move the tab and make it whatever you want it to be, right? And then buy it with the Cadena that's in your wallet. By the way, I know we have a lot of Zelcore fans in the audience, so it is compatible with Zelcore since Zelcore natively supports Cadena. Otherwise, you can use Echo Wallet, you can use Koala Wallet. Those are the two other main ones that are used. But the one thing to keep in mind if you're moving Cadena to a Crankk wallet is that Cadena has multiple chains. So if you're buying from Binance, you're going to be on chain 2. You have to move it to chain 0 to do a cross-chain transaction. It takes Cadena from both wallets. So if you need assistance with that, it's a lot to explain. Just hit one of us up in the Discord. If you need the, gas fees, I'll happily send you the couple cents that it costs in gas fees.
But the Cadena in Zelcore is chain 0?
It can be whatever chain you like it to be.
Okay.
It's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have any questions in the chat, please feel free. Real quick, Sox fan, sorry that I missed your $4.99 super chat. He said Geek of All Trades didn't get the memo about wearing a black t-shirt. I
feel like Ringo Starr over here.
Yeah.
Like Ringo Starr of the Beatles.
Left out.
It is crypto related though.
Yes, pretty much. Actually,
all of us
I'm more
are.
shocked that King's in a black shirt. I don't think I've ever seen you in a black shirt. Have I?
No, I got like 2 or 3 Dickie black t-shirts. I like the Dickie shirts because they're nice. They're thick shirts.
Right. Nice. All right. Well, before Joe continues, how was your day, King? Like, what's going on with you, man? Sorry, we missed you at the beginning.
No, yeah, I was late, man. I was. If Retro Mike's in here, he knows why I'm late. So,
dude, I haven't seen Retro Mike in like 3 streams. I think somebody timed him out by accident, and I hope he doesn't think it was me. But yeah, I heard that after the stream. I was like, oh damn it! Hopefully he's not upset.
He's been helping me, man, because I've been trying to build some mining pools. So I got 2 pools up today that I gotta test out.
We got 2 up now?
Yeah, I got 2 up, 100% up. Yeah,
nice.
Don't worry about it, Dad. Don't worry about it.
Well, I know one of them, but I didn't know what the other one was.
I'm gonna credit this all to Mike here, because like I was like 95% there, and it's whenever I'm doing Linux, it's that last 5%, those critical things that I always miss. You know what I mean? So it is because of him, man. I'm gonna credit everything to Retro Mike, man. He's been a great help to me. So,
bro,
yeah, dude. Hey, he sent me for the Radiant one. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do a Radiant one next, and then he sent me a step-by-step text guide of all the commands I have to do. I was like,
yeah,
I love it.
Dude, he's awesome.
You're the man. You're the man, dude. He is super smart. That guy is smart. So
absolutely, and he knows a little bit about everything when it comes to crypto. It's unbelievable, to be honest.
So yeah, the pools are up and everything like that, but I need to test and make sure that the payout systems are working. So I got to go throw some hash rate on the pools and make sure everything's working. I'm using a mining software. Don't know if people who have tried to make mining pools have used it, called Mining Core. So that's the software I'm using.
Never heard of it. I don't know about you guys. Everyone else is just falling asleep on me. All right, Joe.
I know. I have the effect on people.
Well, I guess I don't know where you want to continue or what you want.
We'll go over the earnings.
Yeah.
And then so can go ahead and share my screen one more time there.
Yep. Actually, let me do this. There we go.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about beacons and witnesses. Beacons when your device sends a radio broadcast. A witness is when you receive the broadcast to someone else. So no matter what, you're going to get that 0.9132. So it's a little bit less than 1 full token of when you beacon. Now, there is another reward given for the devices that witness it. So 0.9132 rewards for a device that witnesses it, or it is that amount split up between the devices that listen or that have heard that, who have witnessed or heard that broadcast, up to 5 hotspots, right? Up to 5 devices. So
Kind of neat.
yeah, so if I have one hotspot, it beacons, I get a reward for that, regardless if anyone hears it or not. And if I have another device that witnesses it, I also get that reward for witnessing it, right? So that's why it quadruples your earnings when you go from 1 to 2, because now not only do you have 2 that are being rewarded for sending, they're also being rewarded for receiving each other's beacons. But
That's a good
it
point.
doesn't continue to scale exponentially like helium did, where the more devices that hear it, the more rewards there are. And each person gets or each hotspot gets a token of their own, or share of their own.
So would it be
That's
only like up to what, 5, because it only splits 5 ways? Like, 5
yeah.
up to 5 would be worth it, and then anything past 5, it's kind of
Well, I mean, it depends on what you consider worth it, but it's still going to scale at the same rate,
okay.
basically, because that receiver reward is always going to be divided up. So
Gotcha.
if you're the only person that owns those devices in your area,
Mhm.
you're always rewarding yourself. Now, if there's someone else who owns a device in your area, that has to be shared
Yeah, you split
amongst
the rewards. Yeah.
amongst someone else. So they're also going to receive a fraction of your,
Right. Right. I
of
mean,
the overall
yeah.
shared.
I get what you're saying. There's gonna be, so it'll be just like they're getting half of your reward and you're getting half of, like vice versa. You're giving each other half of the reward, so whatever.
Mhm.
Unless there's more than one other person, then it really
And
wouldn't be too much effective.
So I have a formula that you can change lower on the screen, but it doesn't scale very well past like 5 devices,
Mhm.
because max 5. So it will get you a ballpark estimate, but it's not going to be as accurate as what else is here, right? So you can change how many you own personally to the ones that are not owned. And so anyways, you don't have to have them all clustered up. If you have 5 that are, say, each of them are placed 2 kilometers apart from each other, and they all have line of sight to each other, they witness each other reliably, that's going to make as much as if you have 3 on one side of the country that are all witnessing each other, and 2 on the other side of the country all witnessing each other.
Right. Right. Man, it's that's crazy. So each one of these things, like according to that sheet you have on the screen that we had up. So you said
Yeah.
it's like $5 a day for that sending and receiving, more or less, right? Or is that just sending? Sorry, trying to, let me see. Let me pull it back up.
Yeah. So
So
if you have one, you're
Oh,
gonna
I
get
see it now.
like 5 Crankk tokens as of right now.
Gotcha.
Keep in mind, as earnings start to decline after 3,800 gateways online, because everyone has to share those rewards. And I forget the max amount of emissions daily. That's on the Crankk tokenomics, so you can click the link. But that's where their emissions top out. Anyways, but if you get 2, if you have 2, as of right now, when the Crankk price is sitting at about 25 cents, yes, you're making a little bit over $5 a day worth.
And these things
Now,
they only run at what, like low as hell watts, right? It's like
like a
15
light bulb
watts.
worth of energy.
Yeah, it's like 15 watts or something. It's literally nothing, and you're getting $5 a day per,
Oh
well,
yeah.
if you have 2,
Well,
you get more. But
keep in mind now, I want to see everyone screaming alpha in the chat. Not financial advice, okay? But you have to stake $100 worth of Crankk to onboard a device, right? So right now, because the beta program's closed, there's nobody staking. So on the decentralized exchange, there is a lot of supply, little demand, and the price is going down. Now, Q3, when they open up for staking again, or onboarding devices again, and everyone's staking, well, read between the lines.
Yeah.
But I would assume the price would go back up.
Yeah. I would I mean, I would assume also if there's gonna be more people onboarding. I mean, it's just nice for me, like, you know, I spent personally $500, right, on, or more or less, on these MNTD hotspots, and they just ROI never, right? No, you know, nothing in the. I mean, they changed what their blockchain they were on. They're on Solana now. Is that what it is?
Which one are you talking about?
HNT, right? They went to Solana. Is that the deal? So you have to like update the wallet. Like, I don't even know what the hell happened to my Helium stuff. Like, I didn't pay attention to it at all. I'm like, now I gotta update this wallet. My unit's useless. I'm like, thing makes shit anyway. So I'm like, I don't give a shit about the wallet. But like, I still, at the end of the day, I bought 2 of these things, so it's $1,000 in the hole, and these things aren't doing nothing with them. And I'm like, you know what? Why not give this Crankk thing a shot and see if it works? I mean, again, we're not trying to shill anything. It doesn't matter to me either way if you guys do it or not. But
and I'll tell you another thing right now. Even if you don't go for Crankk and you say, oh, that's a little steep here, there's another network out there that we mentioned earlier on with basically a group of developers, one in particular, Tim, basically tried working with the Helium Foundation at the inception of Helium and got told to go kick rocks, and they started another network called Things Internet Exchange. So let me pull up the network. It's thingsix.com. This one is on Polygon, uses Chirp Stack.
Oh, sorry.
And excuse me.
Didn't work. No, you're good. I thought you had it up.
There you go. Go ahead.
Go.
Yeah.
I saw it and I clicked on
I
it.
believe this one to be legitimate as well. And I got my notes up. So
You're fine.
I believe the onboarding fee is about $20 altogether to onboard another hotspot. The catch here is that with this network, it's not proof of coverage as we know it, where devices beacon and witness. You have to have a mapper that is specifically produced by the Things IX developers.
Yeah.
And the reason being, it has to be specifically produced rather than something like this, just a regular, this is Glamos Walker. It's pretty good. There's another mapper from
Looks
Seed
like a
Studio.
handheld Atari.
Oh, it's awesome. These are actually really cool devices. But, I kind of wish that they would use, here's the thing, any device that is mobile on the network can be considered a mapper to some extent, because it's using the network and both are reporting they could be reporting the signal strength that they receive it at. So it's verifying coverage. Now, Things IX, to be rewarded for having a hotspot online, you have to have your area mapped every 6 months minimum. And how high you get your antenna and how much coverage you provide is going to be directly proportional to your earnings every time. So that's on the Polygon network. Tim did clarify with me what to onboard a gateway, you need to pay €5 and set or update its location on chain. You need to pay €15. So to add a gateway the first time in total, you need to pay €20. These amounts are to be paid in Things IX coins and will be burned, so they're not paid to anybody. And of course, you need a little bit of Matic to pay for the gas. The price of Things IX coin will be constantly updated on chain, and we are working to get FCC certification for the North America mapper and making progress, but it's slow. So once again, I believe both of these networks are legitimate. I've been following both for several months, I would never lead you guys astray into a scam. So take your pick. I believe this is part of the future. Building
So
decentralized networks. Go ahead.
I mean, because no one else is fucking helping. God damn it, Max, you're killing me tonight. You're usually the HNT guy. I want questions out of you. You like this shit. You guys are watching basketball.
I've already known this
All right.
stuff.
Well, these people
I've talked to Joe
listen,
about it.
listen.
I've been looking at the chat. When people ask questions,
picture.
I bring them up. I don't know what you want me to do.
I want you to freaking rant, talk, Max. God damn it.
This is all great. He's right on target.
No, I'm just messing with you. But
I got one. Joe, after the 3,800 devices are onboarded and the payouts are reduced, what's the next milestone after that 3,800?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, so you can play around with that spreadsheet. It actually it will take that into account and divide up the rewards. So it is C4. So you can change devices online and see what it reduces the earnings to. So right now we're sitting at almost 2,700 gateways online for the Crankk network. So we're back at Crankk. This is what your earnings is going to look like. And there was a comment in the chat. Someone said it's so it's $5 a day for 2 devices. This is cumulative. Just so we're being abundantly clear here, how many devices and how much you make in total. Now, if you don't own all the devices, you want to use this here. Like if you have other devices in the neighborhood over or whatever. Anyways, going back. So let's say that we have, after 3,800 gateways are online, let's say we're at 4,000. So with one Crankk hotspot, you're earning, for that beacon that happens every 4 hours, you're earning 0.9132. Well, if we go to 4,000 devices online, now you're earning 0.858 and some change. And eventually I would assume, once we get 250,000 devices online, yes, you are going to be earning a more fractional amount.
I gotcha.
But also consider that there is staking on this network. So everyone who has to come online has to be staked. And we can talk about, the merit to that if you guys would like. But so you would expect the price of the token to be much higher, right?
Well, the other thing about this, so that's just number of devices online. The other part of it is the fact that the more that they're online, you're not going to be able to witness every single unit that's around you. Everybody else is going to have an equal opportunity to do that. Therefore, your amount that you'll be earning, number of witnesses that you'll be making, could possibly be less.
Yeah. And at that point, this whole sheet almost actually becomes obsolete. So that's very hard to calculate. And that is, as far as milestone, they may have to change that to be randomized because it comes down to the order of operations of when that transaction gets processed. So you have full gateways and you have light gateways. The full gateways, like if you were to look under the Crankk guides, full gateways are the ones that natively run the Crankk software and the Chirpstack bridge on them. Where the light gateways, they're just forwarding over UDP port 1700 to the Crankk LoRaWAN network server. So which one is forwarding the traffic faster and which one is submitting transactions to the blockchain faster? I'm not sure, but that would be the one, whichever one I figure out. I'll let you know when I know. Whichever one processes those transactions faster would be the one I would put on the very best spot in the city.
Makes sense.
Always better with no witnesses.
Comes from the cop.
Yeah.
But that was for D.
Right.
That was purely for
Cliche.
D miners in the chat. Love you.
What the hell was I gonna ask you? So the license, so the beta is closed, right? So the licenses, you can't purchase them anymore. As of right now.
2023.
All right, so July 2023. Okay. So now, sorry, how many licenses are available once it comes off the beta and they're available again? Is
I
that
think it will be unlimited.
okay?
I believe so. I think that's when it's
Gotcha.
that's the actual launch.
Gotcha. And just for everybody here, like Joe doesn't work for these guys. Like he's just very educated in the network space. So
I'm considered an ambassador. I have made some money off of it, but
Could have fooled me.
well, it's kind of no. That's why I wanted to say that because he knows like everything about the network stuff, and yeah, I would be like concerned someone's like shilling me something, right? But that's not the case. He knows a lot about it. He has referral codes like all of us use, referrals from you guys getting into things. But
put it like this: the way I was up Helium's ass, I should say, putting my boot to their ass for so long. If a network was to bring me in and provide me with proprietary information, they know that's not. They don't have a way to shut me up. If I'm going to criticize, if they start doing stupid stuff, because now my name is attached to this.
Right.
Like this actually runs a risk for me because, as a network engineer, if anyone else that I'm going to apply for in the future, any other companies, they say, oh, this guy has a YouTube channel and he's peddling scams rather than a good idea. That's not going to go over well.
Oh man, you'd be on house arrest with SBF.
I know damn well you don't peddle scams because what you did to the SC Prime guys the other night was fucking amazing. Okay? Like I legit the baby was crying. I legit picked him up. I set up the feeding station right here and was watching. And I didn't move.
Okay, I gave them a fair shot. I don't think I was too rough on them, but I try to ask them fair questions, as I will to anyone.
He called them scumbags.
Okay.
Oh my God. He called scumbags. I said, jump change a message. I'm like, where are you? Why are you not in here with me? Like,
I left for 2 minutes and shit went sideways.
Oh my God, it was amazing. He goes, get in the chat, you scumbags. He calls.
And then the guy called in. I don't even know who it was. It was like, oh my God.
The guy was nice. He was a good guy. It was a good conversation after he called in. I actually watched most of it. It was good. It was good. It was professional. And it was nice. It was awesome. They got some good answers. But before
it was actually ballsy on his part for calling in.
He is, and credit.
I respect him for it. Yeah.
Me too. 100%.
Me too.
The other Twitter warriors, hot dog twatter, throwing out insults. Yeah, of course I was a little heated over that.
Relentless. I'm sitting here going, oh my God. Kristen's calling me to go help her with the baby. I'm like, I can't miss this. Like, this is like primetime TV.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This fucking
and then,
come on, man.
I have these guys on my show, and I'm reading these comments in the Discord. Well, he only has like almost 6,000 subs. Can we get on Son of a Tech or something? Oh, thanks, bro.
You think this was bad? Son of a Tech will chew your ass out, bro.
I know.
For being a shit fucking project. Like,
I know.
He'll do it
you
just
think
as
he's gonna
bad,
take it easy? He's got that reputation. He'll tell you if it's bullshit. He'll get on and smash your whole project and don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah,
that's the last person.
As he should.
And he does. And that's why I watch him. I miss the morning show because you get the facts. Same thing you get with Joe. When these guys dive into this, you get the facts, man. This is where I get a lot of my information. I just pass it on. I'm just a pass-through. So if Hawk's talking about it, Joe or Chump or King or Max has already talked about it.
Right.
Yeah, right.
No, that's pretty much how it is.
I have to say, I love what you and Yeti are doing with that Wednesday show. That is phenomenal.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice, dude. Hey. There's so much freaking hate, and it's like people love it, people hate it, and man, yeah, like it's funny how when you make those videos, the trolls come out of the woodwork, and they just get so pissed off. I'm like, listen, I said at the beginning of the video, I have nothing against or for any of these projects. I'm just doing it to make sure we're safe. We're not downloading viruses and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But
this is what happens anytime. So we spoke, briefly in the lobby about some of these other scam projects that are out there. Mm-hmm. We might have to do a special edition, but that's how it works. It's IO5 garbage projects, scam BS that I called out. This was like almost a year ago now, but it was just total crap. And I gave him a fair shake, and I basically called the information that they had. And I was always like, well, why didn't you ask more questions? It's like, so I'm supposed to ask you and you respond with elusive information, total BS. And like
Right.
what you've already provided is just so amateur league already. So I ripped them apart, and it was the most disliked video ever.
Oh,
Well, it
man.
turns out it was a scam. Turns out I called it right on.
Wow.
And all the people who were crapping on me for a month came back, said, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I don't feel good being right about it, but thank you.
Right.
And they're loyal followers now. So
That's
you're
awesome.
going to get that. Definitely get you your most hardcore followers.
Right. Right. I mean, it's honestly, I kind of envy the fact that you can just do that. Like, cause you have the knowledge to, like, all these projects you dive into, you like 150% into every one of these projects. And it's nice watching you and listening to you talk, cause everything you say is like usually 100% facts. Like, no matter what, every video I ever watched of you talking or any live stream, it's just facts. Like, all the time. Doesn't matter if you're gonna get shit for it or not, you still say it. And I'm like, oh, sometimes I'm like, Joe, please stop, Joe.
I appreciate that.
But
I mean, when I screw something up, it ruins my whole day. I get so.
I know, but you're passionate. That's the best part.
Yeah,
it's the best part, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I wasn't saying anything important.
But dude, it's friggin', yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have somebody that's like highly educated in what they're speaking about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got me.
What I like about this community the most, the Misfit Miners, no one pushes BS. No one's sitting here like trying to show you a project. If they like something, they're gonna tell you, and they're gonna tell you it's mostly factual. Pretty much all of it's factual. I know not everyone has the same style of videos, but I've not seen anyone try to just, shill and sell someone a bag of goods that's not worthwhile.
I appreciate that.
The cool thing is like we all talk to each other. You know what I mean? So it's like we're in constant contact about like what's going on. Even people, even Red Panda is, we're all in chats together. We all talk. So it's like, oh, we talk about a project and then we'll ask each other's opinion. Oh, here's a thumbnail. What do you guys, is this title too clickbaity? We talk to each other because we would be doing a disservice to everybody if we were just going to give you bullshit.
Right.
Right. We were going to give you, like we're going to turn the whole thing into like a Voscoin channel. Like that's not what this is about. Hey man, call it. It is what it is, bro. It is what it. Hey, look, if I was getting 40, 50,000 an ad, I'd do it too. Y'all call me what the fuck y'all want to call me. But till then, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest.
Oh, shit.
Like,
hey, I was in a Voscoin video one time.
I like it. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's just the type of content you got. I don't,
dude.
Do you guys know? All right, please, Joe, please explain that, because that was great.
You seem like you're okay. You want me to explain it?
Yeah, please. It was great. It was epic.
So,
all right. I'll give a little context to why I know about this. I know.
Go ahead, go.
So I got reached out to. What's the company called? I don't even know. What is it called? Is it
MXC. This is a different topic, but yes, MXC. All right,
so they reached out to me and I asked Joe about it, and Joe was like, "Oh, you want to know a little bit about them?" And he sends me, he's like, "This is where I got debuted in the Voscoin video." And
no, that was Helium. No, it's the wrong story.
No, it was the same one.
Yeah, it is not the right. You're not. No, it's not.
Oh, come on. I asked you about that. All right. You give it then.
Okay. Hey, MXC. That's the one I tossed off a building.
Oh, hold on, I'm trying. Let me find this email. What is the company that reached out to me? I can't remember. MXC. When I sent him back that video. I sent him the Voss video. You
sent him back the Voss video of Voss just totally crapping on that project.
Oh, that's right. You're right. God damn it, I mixed it up. Yeah, you're
and
right.
They were all pissed off at Voss.
Okay.
Because he put the device on. He mounted it on his garbage can outside.
Straight up.
And they're all butthurt about that. So they're like, this device doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. And like half the comments are like, you should just put it in the garbage can, bro.
It was bad. It was pretty bad.
I tossed it off a building. I did an hour-long video just railing at them. And then I did another one humiliating the mods for talking shit about me. It was pretty awesome. But anyways, going back to my Voscoin video, I always have to bring this up, my 5 minutes of fame there.
Yep.
Because this goes back to all the fuckery that was happening in Helium. When Helium decided they want to do this stupid mobile network, they decided to completely restructure their tokenomics, where they took the Helium network token, HNT, and made it like the top token. And then now many of you see that you mine IoT. And if you have one of those CBRS radios, you get mobile. And now they're going to do Wi-Fi DABA, which is such a crock. But we'll save that. So I said, no, this is not. Nobody understands this proposal. The average person can't just read this proposal and say, oh, I agree with it, or no, I don't think so. So naturally, they're going to think it's a rug pull. You're completely changing tokenomics halfway through. And this complicates things technically, which, of course, what do you know? It's not like I'm making the most bold predictions here, but I was right. So someone sent a couple thousand tokens of mobile over to Binance, and they got millions of dollars, $21 million worth of HNT in return from Binance. And
Holy
then
shit.
HNT they stopped, trading pairs on that platform. It was a massive clusterfuck.
God
And
damn.
then I got blamed. Okay, listen, Boss had me in a video.
I just put
okay,
it in
and
the chat if
also
anybody
this
wants to know what
video-
video. I put the link. I just scrolled back and found it. Yeah, you're totally right. I forgot. He was giving you props because you actually explained it clearly, and he actually played that like, what was it, like a 30-second clip.
It was awesome. So
That's pretty good.
So when I was in that video, Boss just craps on Helium for the next 15 minutes in that video. So all of his fans, 30,000 people watch this video, they're just like firing into the Discord like the Angry Birds game that you played, and they're insulting the moderators, calling it a rug pull and a scam and a Ponzi and everything, and just crapping all over Foundation. And then I got blamed for Voss's opinion. So everyone in Helium hated me for the next month, and I just kept saying, yeah, man, you remember that one time I was in a Voss video? It was like a week ago.
Right. Oh man.
I got blamed for the
You
opinion,
did.
like,
You did.
everyone thinks it's a scam because of you.
Right. Right.
And then a bunch of other clowns decided to start doing like some show because they were all upset that I had, some clout in the space. It was awesome.
That's great. F it. Real quick, Joker Miner, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. He said network bits when this team crypto having your baby. God damn it. And Golden Wolf, thank you so much for the VIP. Appreciate you for joining. Please make sure you link your YouTube and Discord. Yes, network bits offered to pay child support in Bitcoin. Well, he said he'd only have a kid with her if he could pay child support in Bitcoin. And bro, that was the most, she was so caught off guard. It was perfect, but made me laugh.
I know, like at first
I clipped it forever.
So she was like excited that she got the super chat. Then she looked like appalled someone would say that to her.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh
so
shit,
hard.
my dad's in the chat. Oh shit, this is really awkward. Like it was the best. Oh man.
Man. Yeah,
Come on,
the antics follow me everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Hawk, I'm gonna have to mute you, bro.
Jimmy
killing
Butler
me.
says your mother's a
How
whore.
ignorant.
You're killing me.
Jimmy
me.
Butler says your mother's a whore. That's what's up. Let's go.
I don't even know who that is. What are you saying?
How do you guys not watch sports?
Jimmy
I
Butler, you
can't.
don't know who
I
Jimmy
have
Butler
better
is?
things to do in my life than fucking
Oh.
watch a guy run with a ball. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I watch football once in a while. I used to. I can't do it anymore. It's
All
just,
sports.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
EA Sports.
Come on. There's
All
like
right,
a minute.
anyways.
There's like a minute 30 seconds. I'll be quiet.
So, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other topics to touch on with the whole Crankk thing? Did you get everything pretty
I
much?
think we're good.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I
if you
think
guys want more information, you can watch my videos. I don't want to bore the audience to death here, but yeah, there's like consensus. Well, I guess I don't know.
Oh,
We'll leave it
drain
there.
it.
But I ran a. Excuse me, can I talk, sir?
All right, I'll mute. Fuck.
By the way, you're delayed, by the way.
Who?
He's delayed because I see what happens before he does.
Yeah, so I did what's it called? estimation on the gas fees that Crankk pays to Kadena right now. So it's about 56 Kadena a day, about $44 worth of Kadena a day for consensus alone. That's not including all the other devices on the network. So for those of you who want to complain, it's not a proof of work project, so it's garbage. Well, this is paying your it's paying the gas bill, okay? It's what makes projects, the proof of work mining side, profitable long term. And it's I don't like to insult the crowd because I'm a fan of proof of work projects.
Right.
But I kind of I don't understand the thought behind, if it doesn't have its own blockchain, it's garbage. And what are you going to build on the blockchain? We're still waiting for adoption from the enterprise side or the corporate side, but other crypto projects are going to build on the blockchains that are available right now. And Kadena has a pretty good ecosystem thus far. I mean, who else do you have using your stuff? That the NFT crowd?
No, God, no thanks.
All those PA3s out there.
No thanks. Yeah. No thanks. Oh man. All right. Well, so I know Matt. Does everybody here? So Geek of All Trades, do you have a Crankk hotspot or okay?
No, I started to convert one, but I haven't finished it yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're trying to get some licensing for a few other people as well. So
gotcha.
Hang tight.
I guess I'm excited to see what happens when the beta is all done, because I mean, like I said, it's just mining is gone in so many directions, right? With nodes just staking, USB miners, helium miners. Like there's so many different things that have came through the space. Like to see something progress into a good position, I guess, that's like an IoT network that is Crankk at this point versus where helium was. It's just nice to see it be picked up off the floor from where it was left. Basically, that's like the best way I could put it. Like it's just nice to see it happen. What happened? The king has ads that are copyrighted on his TV in the background. The last one was Panera Bread, FYI.
Yeah, I'll have to pick a longer.
Shout out to Panera Bread, free advertisement. There you go.
Yeah, thank you, Panera, for sponsoring us. Thank you.
Yes.
So, Joe, I got a Crankk question.
Yes.
And you may not have the answer to this because you're not like a sales guy, right? We work in the back.
Are you going to ask partnership?
No, I'm going to ask how are they going to sell this as a usable, project and opportunity out there? Like Flux is doing their thing with medical and a lot of other organizations on a useful work, and Hawk is so distracting right now, but there you go. That's much more better. How are they going to be pushing this out? Like, how is this going to be a long-term thing? I think is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So I believe that they're going to have their business development section of the team once the network is fully implemented and go so there will be partnerships and on numerous levels, but like I said, they'll have that sort of sales or business development team where they'll outreach and work with different projects, different companies. And there is some interest in the LoRaWAN community. Helium actually did spark a lot of interest amongst LoRaWAN professionals. And I've actually worked with some of these guys. A lot of them wanted to move to things IX. I said, all right. And, is it a legit network? They said, it is effing awesome. So I said, all right, will you give this one a try too? And I got them hooked up with some devices. So I believe that there's going to be, some adoption from that standpoint. But of course, we've seen what happened with helium with, what people call fake partnerships. Well, what the true story behind all that was, these companies were evaluating helium to use the network for their operations. And helium found one way or another to, fumble that ball. And of course, that partnership never came to fruition. They never decided to use it the network long term. It was just an evaluation stage. And, the intern didn't move it off the website, or, one of the community's members never did a PR, bro, a pull request on GitHub. So, yeah, that went over like a turd in the punch bowl. But look, there's businesses who want to use this. This concept this is what the power of crypto brings to us as a civilization, being able to stand up a decentralized, distributed network for anyone to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what caught my interest originally with helium. One, it was towards the end of the bull run, so I think it was way overvalued at the time. But looking at it as a project standpoint, I can see an actual use case for it.
Mm-hmm.
But with the BS that kind of came along with it towards the end of their run, it made me personally wary about diving into other similar projects.
Yeah. Let me say this about helium, and we'll get back to some factual stuff after that. Helium is an absolute clown show. The people that they have in foundation, half of them have no business being there. And it hurts me to say it because I actually have a few friends on the inside, but it's like, I feel like it's a cry for help every time they reach out to me, tell me the bullshit that's taken place within Nova Labs and with the Helium Foundation. They have people that have no technical ability whatsoever who are placed in there because they're lackeys, and they're always going to side with certain people. They're around since the inception of the project, and they'll be good little puppets. So it's an absolute disgrace.
So, what really makes me upset about you is the fact that you hold back, and I just don't wish you just wouldn't hold back.
All right.
I'll say you really feel.
I'm sorry. I'll say what's truly on my mind.
Hawk, let me know.
No, we appreciate it. I'm obviously kidding, and we appreciate that about you.
Hawk, let me know when you're ready to. Well, let me know when they lose. All right, and then I'll let you.
No, Miami's up by 1.
But
I hope they lose.
Have some plans to integrate with other types of ecosystems for their token to be used for another purpose completely unrelated to anything IoT or really tech-wise, I guess you would say. I can't disclose what it is. I know what it is. It's very interesting. But once again, it goes back to that whole partnerships deal. If you disclose it and it doesn't happen, it causes a tsunami of FUD.
Yeah.
So they do have some partnerships that they're in the works for. It's a whole trial phase, and let's hope it works. And I'm supportive of them. And another argument I make about this type of stuff is like, everyone says nobody uses a network, bro. And I'm sure you guys hear that about Flux sometimes, but it's a very common statement. But like, who used Bitcoin for the first 5 years other than criminals?
Right.
Who actually used Ethereum for the first couple of years of its inception? So this takes, there's a time that, it takes for businesses to become comfortable with using these type of networks. And another one of Helium's failures is their change operations. Like when they're pushing changes to the blockchain, to the network overall, it is a complete cluster. It's like, time's up, let's do this, and just ram it through, take down the blockchain, take a bunch of devices offline. It doesn't matter. So their operational rap sheet actually blows. No CTO is going to say, oh yeah, that's a very stable network. Let's put our devices on there for enterprise use. No, it's not happening. So
if you don't have an SLA, you're not getting that enterprise. Yeah.
I love when I have these guys talking about shit that I have absolutely no idea what's happening. You two are on the same page because the networking backgrounds. I'm like, what the hell are you saying?
From Brad in the chat, doesn't AWS, Amazon Sidewalk, obsolete HNT and Crankk? No, not necessarily. So Amazon Sidewalk doesn't have the full implementation of LoRaWAN. And also consider that you don't have people going and putting their device in the most optimized location on a hill in the middle of nowhere 1,000 feet up to earn. So yes, you have a more dense network with Amazon Sidewalk, and there's pros and cons to both. So both are there, and both are you can utilize.
Well, isn't Sidewalk just for Amazon devices though, or is it open?
I
thought it was like just
sure
for Ring and Echoes and things like that.
I think they have some compatibility with some LoRaWAN devices, but
Okay.
not entirely. I heard the craziest conspiracy theories about this. Like someone took me down a rabbit hole that like I was like, what?
When you looking
Anyway.
around, somebody listening?
Oh my God, it was nuts. It was absolutely bonkers.
Now, does anybody in the chat have any questions about anything? It could be about Crankk or anything to do with Crankk, or
We can always
whatever.
change topics. I know I kind of came in and took over the show here.
It's fine, man. That's what we're here to talk about. I wanted to know about it because, like, it's nice to not have $1,000 in wasted hardware. I could revive it with a couple $100 and pretty much make the money back in at this point no time. But like, I don't know. The rewards will be the same, right, for a good while anyways, for the first people as soon as beta is done and it opens up in July. So it'll be nice. I mean, can't really complain. $5 for like 15 watts a day. It's pretty good, right? Or 30 watts rather, because 2 units, right? So
Max, that was legit, right? The ball was in the air before the buzzer. Yeah, fuck.
They lost.
No,
the timer started. The timer started at the right time. I tried to check to see when the guy touched it. Did the timer start? It did.
It was legit. Yeah, it was legit. They got it. I mean, but damn, like, come on.
That's you. It's your fault. It was bad luck. All the hand waving.
It's fault of the guy who was hitting all the 3-pointers who can't play defense. That was the guy. He was supposed to box that guy out, and he didn't do it.
Oh, well, Hawk doesn't have his golden. What is it? The horn. Man. The horn. The Italians wear. You don't got it on.
I have.
You don't got it on today. That's why. That's why they lost. I'm telling you.
I don't need it. I have it tattooed on me.
Oh, I'm just joking. Just giving you shit.
So can you remove me for a minute? I gotta step away.
Yeah. I'll mute. Oh yeah, no worries. Let me know when you're back. He's gonna drop one. All right.
Oh my God,
just kidding.
Man. That was a good game though.
Max, so you have Crankk hotspots as well, Max?
Yes.
Do you have 2 of them or just 1?
2.
So did you have to get what? You had 3 different locations, right? They weren't all at your house or whatever.
Well, I grabbed them.
Oh,
so I now have 2 at this location.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, I get so. Actually, I should probably wait for him to come back and ask that. But the whole like having 2 in the same location, he said like, what is it? Once the beta is over, you should probably try to move it somewhere else. Like, is that
ideally you want to obviously spread out the coverage? That's right. The idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll try to see if I can. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going to move it to.
Gotcha.
But I want to move it somewhere where I can still witness it.
That's the thing. Like he was asking me how far away my other location is, and I think it's just out of reach. I don't know how far the reach is gonna be, so it's like, I don't know.
Your location that you're at is out of reach for everything.
Listen, it's working. All right, it's working here. I don't care what you say.
Well, and you can get them to witness each other. It's just like,
yeah.
I mean, if you've got one out in the solar shed and then one out in the front of the house or whatever, you can get them to witness each other. You don't have to worry about. I mean, you don't have to try to get it to reach across town, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Right. What I was asking Joe is, so having the 2 units at the same location as of right now. Now, is it necessary to move the second one to another location after the beta thing is like, done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's going to be a point in time where they have what's called the Crankk rank. So rather than this helium system where you have X amount per hexagon, you have what's called the Crankk rank, which is
It's so stupid.
So basically, they are going to have on their network oracles, and I've suggested that they host their oracles on Flux. We'll see if that happens. Maybe someone can get them pre-approved here, but point being, what the oracles do is they all LoRaWAN traffic that enters any gateway, you can listen to any LoRaWAN traffic. So whether it be devices surrounding, it could be Helium, it could be the Things network, Hive mappers, because they use that for double verifying location. Doesn't matter. It gets all forwarded to the oracles, and the oracles determine how much of an overlap in coverage the hotspots in an area are seeing.
Oh,
And if so if
makes sense.
two are seeing exactly identical traffic, the one that was second to be asserted in that location, that rank is going to go down, and they're going to earn fractional rewards rather than full rewards. So the idea is you always want redundancy in coverage. Like you want to be able to utilize two different locations at once. But if two are right next to each other on the same connection, seeing exactly the same stuff, then you're
One
not
might
going
drop
to
off or something. Yeah.
So at one point in time, yes, you will want to move it, and you'd probably want to keep it within range of your other one. So if you can find a place, like for example, I have some that are both in like attics, and they're about, I guess, 3/4 of a mile away from each other, but they still are able to beacon and witness to each other. So it's pretty resilient.
Okay.
What you can do, but like if you have one, so I have a tower location. It's 100 feet up. It's 107 feet with the antennas placed on the flagpole there, and I quite often see helium beacons. I haven't put the Crankk up there yet, but quite often see helium beacons well over 100 miles. So,
Oh wow.
with
All right.
line of sight, you can reach real far. I think there's like this. You should look up the LoRaWAN world record.
Probably insane. So you know how Helium used to charge you to change locations? How does that work with Crankk? Is it the same thing?
Change it in the dashboard, and it costs a gas fee, so it costs fractions of a cent.
Well, that's nice. It used to cost like $10, right? So,
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Garbage.
That's cool. So when I go to switch it, at least it'll be cheap.
The farthest LoRaWAN record is 766 kilometers, 476 miles.
Wow.
Jesus.
With line of sight, you can reach very far. But
That's
keep
so
in mind, the modulation on these is very simple. Basically, modulation is how you would manipulate radio frequency to push data through this. So you're pushing bytes per second rather than, megabits, sometimes gigabits per second when you're on your computer streaming, etc. You're pushing a very small fractional amount of data because it's a very simple device that you're utilizing. So it's like, okay, why would anyone want LoRaWAN when you have everything else? You have Wi-Fi, 5G, Bluetooth, Sigfox, etc. Well, there's scenarios where it is the most cost-effective and the most resilient, where you can penetrate through walls. You can send it for miles. You don't need to buy a SIM card and pay, what's it going to be, at least $25 a month for that, to go through a cellular carrier. Or Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, how far do they reach? I mean, you get out into your driveway and you barely have any signal, and they don't penetrate your home's walls very well. So, there are use case scenarios there.
Gotcha. All right. I'm all questioned out. Max, you got anything?
I don't.
That's all I needed to know. I was really most curious before.
So, I mean, I appreciate that he came on here so he can explain it a heck of a lot better than me, because he knows it a heck of a lot better than I do.
Right.
But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying having two earners in the same location with a witness and a broadcaster.
And soon we're going to put Things IX on the hotspots. You guys already have once North America supported, and you'll be able to earn on both networks and tell Helium to shut.
All right, so it'll be
Not
just
three.
those two.
Can't do three networks.
You can do three if you want. You can do three. Yeah.
Oh.
I just do it just to piss off Helium.
Wait. So it would work like full full rewards for like all three, or how would that?
Well, yes, because the
Okay.
way Helium is trying to decrement people's rewards is through the manufacturers that are supporting this. This is their approved manufacturers, the ones that keep going bankrupt and
Mhm.
stop supporting their devices. So the way Crankk is doing it is through a company called Mishoshi, which is not a approved manufacturer, but you can just grab the Helium image, and as long as you're updating it and your device has with Helium, because you have to have that approved device, it's the ECC chip. That's what is identity and signs the blockchain transactions. So what was I getting at here? Yes, you can do it. It's not going to hit your Helium rewards unless Helium decides to push an image that either makes it impossible for you to interact with the other networks. Like if it keeps resetting certain settings that are on your device, they certainly can do that.
Oh yeah, that would be a pain in the
Yeah.
ass, right?
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
I mean, if it makes sense for you to dual earn or triple earn, then certainly you do it.
Yeah.
But that certainly can come with drawbacks. And one of the things I tell people is that I personally keep my earnings after I've earned so much, I move them to a wallet that's I've not used for anything else except for storing my crypto. Because when you enter your private key you have to enter your private key on your device, on your gateway, so it can sign transactions and submit them to the blockchain. That private key is in your device. If that device gets hacked, they have your private key.
Whoa.
So you have to be careful about what you're putting on that device. If you're
Right.
going to hook it directly to the internet and
Mm.
give it a public IP, you certainly have to change your SSH passwords and your administrative dashboard passwords.
Right.
I just want to be extra careful. I
Because
create a
it's
whole
all-
new wallet
Yeah.
to.
Well, it's all right there for people to see. Like you can see all
Yeah.
the IP addresses and shit, right?
Sounds like a ledger issue.
I know you're like trying to get that in, but you and Max are totally fucking high on that aspect. Just saying. So I mean, listen, we even got them to roll that back, right? But the as far as the Crankk, like the IP thing, yeah, absolutely. If you can see, the hotspots and you can like on that dashboard, you can literally click on other people's shit, right?
It's not going to tell you what other people's hotspots IP address are. It'll tell you yours.
But you can see other things, right? And if you don't change passwords, that's just a freaking, you're asking for somebody to fuck around with your stuff, right?
The password's known to everyone. Yeah. So the way it is, if you have it behind a firewall, right? So if I hook it to my firewall, if I put it on the Wi-Fi, your home router, whatever you want to call it, as long as you have that, what's called network address translation, that pretty much provides a way to get out, but not a way to get back in unless you port forward, right? So you don't want to port forward SSH.
Yeah.
Now, if you hook it, like say you decide, okay, I'm not going to have that. I'm just going to have a modem, and I'm going to jack it directly into the modem, and your device gets a public IP instead of a private IP, then yes, that is open. Anyone could just connect and through SSH. Now, whether they have the password or not, who knows?
Right.
But botnets, botnets are devices that have been hacked, and they just go through every single IP address and say, am I able to ping this address? If so, what ports are open? Okay, if the SSH is open, what's the fingerprint of this device? Is it a Crankk device? I have the Crankk password because everyone on the internet knows it, and it's in my database. So
they try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't,
so you might get your funds stolen. You might just end up as part of a botnet and sending out, all kinds of craziness.
They'll never guess my password. It's Chump is the best boss ever.
That's good. Perfect. Capitals or no?
Yeah, there's capitals.
There's gotta be a few.
Perfect. Yeah, I don't know. It's smart. I mean, at the end of the day, we gotta be safe, right? We gotta be safe. Make sure you guys change your passwords. Obviously, the whole 9 yards. You guys understand that. I mean, hell, Brandon Coin's shit got hacked on Hive OS. for Christ's sakes,
Yeah.
right? Because he didn't change his passwords. So you guys just gotta pay attention to that stuff. But all right, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to add anything else before we call it a night? I don't know if anybody else has anything to say.
We didn't
Hawk's
have a
upset.
Hawk rant yet.
I know
so I
he's
want to
upset
hear him
about
cuss
Miami
his game.
He's
losing.
pouting. He's over there
it's
pouting.
all
Leave
right.
him alone.
It's all right. It was listen. Truthfully speaking, how good Miami is, they should have beat them by 10, not 1. So, lost by 1. Sorry, like they should have won that game, but too many mistakes. But no NBA team has lost after being up 3-0, and it looks like it's going to get
Until
close
now.
Well, I mean, we'll see.
If the refs try to give,
now,
if the refs try to give Celtics the game like they did this one, I mean, it's a shoo-in that the Celtics are going to win. That game was so poorly called and so one-sided. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they force game 7s, man. They want the money, you know. They want the.
Yeah.
They
I'm sorry.
want
We
money.
should probably stop talking because I'm seeing Chump's eyes glaze over.
I can give 2 shits less about basketball. I've never liked basketball ever. It's like one of those sports I've just never liked it. I mean, I could, playing it's one thing, shooting around, but yeah, I don't know. I can't watch it. It drives me nuts. It's like NASCAR.
Did you get,
It's fucking
did you get
back
my
and forth
analogy?
the whole time.
Did you get my analogy on what the finals were?
I knew what the finals were. I was joking. My buddy
Oh, I
does
thought
like
you
this
weren't.
whole bracket thing, fucking March Madness bullshit. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
My
college.
buddy's
Yeah,
like,
That's college, but close.
Yeah.
oh, is it? Yes, it is. Or whatever. All right.
Wow.
Guess I don't know. Guess I don't know.
Listen. Just think of like all the plumbers in the world come together, right?
Oh,
For
wow.
like the competitions on when they can lay pipe, and you have an Eastern Division and a Western
You can
Division.
lay pipe.
All right, and then the best people who can lay pipe go to the semifinals. Okay, and then
man.
whoever wins these games goes to meet the best plumber from the East and the West, and they fight who can lay pipe better. That's where
I
we
feel
are
like
right
this
now.
is like Plumbers of the Wild, and
Sounds
the
like a
most
shitty
fit gets
situation.
Jesus Christ.
See what you did there.
Oh man, you guys are a
but
mess.
now you get it though.
Laying pipe.
I mean, I understand how it works, but yeah, I can't watch it. It drives me nuts.
I like to watch golf.
Oh my
very
god, it's a waste of
voyeuristic.
land. Are you serious? Come on.
It's a
tell
waste
me.
of land.
That's such a waste of land. That is such a waste of land. That's
Does it help
ridiculous.
you with
Hey,
your
hold on.
Joe?
you
Does it
gotta
help you
really
with
just
your
have,
crank?
you gotta have fun when you play golf, though. You gotta drink lots of beer.
You always get
hit
kicked
lots
out
of
of the field.
houses.
The one time
And
I
then
went
you
to
hit
golf
lots
with
of
a buddy,
houses. It's-
I never even golfed. I had a beer in my hand. We get kicked off. I'm like, are you serious?
Does it,
Oh,
does it
really?
help you-
Yeah, we had to
Does
like
it help
sneak them
you-
in and they get pissed off because you have them. It's like, what? So
Does it help you
stupid.
with your crank rank?
I don't know. Yet
Maybe.
to be determined.
Let's see. Golf
sorry,
is
that's
just
just
a
funny.
good
Yeah.
walk ruined, said Sunflower Mama. All right. I'm gonna get some dislikes for the hate on golf, apparently.
I don't like golf either.
I have to mention
I
this
just don't
because
understand
Sunflower Mom, I used to play quite a bit of golf, was never good at the sport. And then I switched to cycling because I needed to do something that was going to get myself in shape. This was back in the early 2000s. So what am I going to do? I'm tired of getting my ankles beat up playing basketball with a bunch of amateurs. So I'm like, got to switch to a different sport. So I switched to cycling. And as she put it, she's like, you never came home from a bike ride upset. I've come home from golfing quite a bit of times. Like,
Yeah. No,
Semi-
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Listening to you play StarCraft,
Amateur
I can
basketball
understand how
player.
you used to come
yeah,
home.
there you go.
Semi-pro voltage over here. Amateur basketball players. Semi-pro voltage.
Yeah, I
That's
can't
gonna be my
believe
new-
You're on the
God
golf
damn.
course for you guys. They have little carts that drive around down here in Arizona for the old people. They
With
just
beers?
yeah, you buy beer, shots, everything, man. You just get tore up on there.
Yeah,
Matt,
we're a
what
bunch of
position did you play?
we're a bunch of granola eating weirdos up here. I'm telling you, like all these people
Max.
around here.
What
Too much
position
money.
on the court did you play?
Basketball you're talking about?
Yeah.
My senior year in high school, I played every single one of them, actually. I started out as off guard, and by the end of the season, because of attrition, I ended up being center.
You went to center. Yeah. I had to play point guard and shooting guard because in freshman year I was tall enough to be a center. Then get into varsity and it's like you're the shortest guy on the court at 6'1". So
Yeah, 6'3", you're swingman. You can kind of play a lot of different positions. So yeah, that's I played what he needed me to play, but off guard was really my best position.
Off guard?
Yeah, not point guard. I didn't dribble well
You
enough
mean
to be
power
point
forward?
guard.
Power
No.
forward. Oh, no, shooting
Shooting
guard.
guard.
Shooting guard. I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We called it, and hey, back in my day, we called it
I
off
was
guard.
like,
There's
they
point
haven't
guard
called
and
it
off guard.
They haven't called it off guard till they designed the 3-point line. Get the hell out of here.
Exactly, because I didn't have a 3-point line in high school.
Oh my, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You guys were just like throwing around rocks into the basket, weren't you?
It's just straight dinosaur.
Losing with Larry said everybody quiet because they're short.
Oh fuck, so short. Story of my life, bro.
It's all right, man. I have a good answer for it, bro. All you have to say is, "Hey, look, God put my inches somewhere else, my G." That's all you gotta say. That's it. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah,
that's
I guess
best
I'm
comeback
not
to
gonna
it.
say that.
That's the best comeback.
Oh, you guys are a mess.
It's the best comeback.
All right, clearly it's past their bedtime and everyone's overtired. I want to go hang out in Discord. What are you guys up to? You guys gonna come in Discord? Go hang out in Discord? No? Playing games? Anybody? DJ?
You need.
Let's go.
No.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right. Let's go do something, guys. I appreciate all you guys hanging out. Mr. Joe, Network Bits. Guys, go subscribe. I got a link to his channel down in the description below. Thank you for being here, man. Appreciate all the knowledge you dropped today. And again, if you guys need to actually look into Crankk, please go check out his actual video explaining everything really you need to know before he even had a hotspot or was part of the program, referral stuff. Ambassador, is that what they call it? But yeah.
Yep.
As always, Mr. Hawk, thank you for being obnoxious. And Max.
What? Somebody had to turn this shit upside down.
I'm kidding. Appreciate you guys. And Mr. Geek of all trades, the Mining King, thank you for being here. Hopefully that pool goes well. And guys, enjoy your holiday weekend. We will see you next time. Peace out.
And I'll.
I was gonna unmute guys and say something, but I kept Hawk muted. All right, everybody in the chat, everybody I'm unmuted right now, telling the people in the crowd that Hawk said something that I thought was going to be unmuted. So if you guys caught a little piece of it, I muted him fast, but there's reasons for it.